Afternoon, all. Well, first I want to thank President Trump for hosting these very important discussions and facilitating opportunities for members of his cabinet to join him here in Florida at Mar-a-Lago to spend time with our Chinese counterparts. It's going to be very useful to all of us. It is an honor to receive the Chinese delegation at Mar-a-Lago and build on the dialogue that I began last month in Beijing with President Xi and other leaders in China. In the past 40 years, the United States and China have developed deep ties, and this administration is committed to ensuring these ties endure for the next 40 years. We do desire to establish policies that maintain a constructive, cooperative, and results-oriented trajectory. High on the list of our priorities is an economic relationship that is fair on both sides. Today will be a time to exchange candid views on the nature of the U.S.-China relationship, and we look forward to additional discussions in the future on topics of mutual importance. As President Trump has said, the chief goal of our trade policies is the prosperity of the American worker. To that end, we will pursue economic engagement with China that prioritizes the economic well-being of the American people. We're also looking to make progress with China on areas of foreign policy, those that serve our interest as well as the region's. And we're hopeful that China will find ways to exercise influence over North Korea's actions to dismantle their nuclear weapons and their missile technology programs. Whether it's using their authority on the UN Security Council or utilizing new levers of power, China can be part of a new strategy to end North Korea's reckless behavior and ensure security, stability, and economic prosperity in Northeast Asia. Yet even as we share a desire to work together, the United States does recognize the challenges China can present to American interest. We renew our strong commitments to our allies in Asia and around the world who have been valuable partners in preserving shared values and security interest. Similarly, the United States will protect our citizens and our institutions against cyber attacks. On other areas of disagreement, such as human rights and religious freedom, the United States will be firm in representing our core democratic values and advocating for the right of all people to live in freedom. The Trump administration remains dedicated to working with China toward mutual goals of respect, security, and prosperity. As we do so, we will not shy away from frank discussions which are necessary to narrow our differences. I hope President Xi, First Lady Madam Peng, and the entire Chinese delegation enjoy their visit to the United States, and we look forward to our discussions with them. Thank you.
Sir, do you have a statement on Syria?
Well, obviously, the events that have occurred in Syria with the chemical weapons attack here in the past day have just, I think, horrified all of us and brought to the front pages and to our television screens as well the tragedy that is part of the Syrian conflict. There is no doubt in our minds, and the information we have supports, that Syria, the Syrian regime under the leadership of President Bashar al-Assad, are responsible for this attack. And I think further it is very important that the Russian government consider carefully their continued support for the Assad regime.
Sir, does Assad have to go?
Assad's role in the future is uncertain, clearly, and with the acts that he has taken, it would seem that there would be no role for him to govern the Syrian people.
And so what steps is the United States prepared to take in order to remove him from power?
Well, the process by which Assad would leave is something that I think requires an international community effort, both to first defeat ISIS within Syria, to stabilize the Syrian country, to avoid further civil war, and then to work collectively with our partners around the world through a political process that would lead to Assad leaving.
So will you and President Trump organize an international coalition to remove Assad?
Those steps are underway.
Has President Trump already been talking about that with other leaders?
Thank you. Is the administration considering military strikes, new military strikes? That there's been reports out today saying that.
We are considering an appropriate response for this chemical weapons attack, which violates all previous UN resolutions, violates international norms, and long-held agreements between parties, including the Syrian regime, the Russian government, and all other members of the UN Security Council. It's a serious matter. It requires a serious response. Thank you.
Everybody. Appreciate your time. Thank you, everyone.